Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 4th of May 2024. More violence on our streets. Swinney's coronation seems complete. Tories suffer defeats and lose the Blackpool South seat and West Midlands Mayor Andy Street. Rishi feels the heat but remains upbeat and believes Tories can still compete. Are UK asylum seekers starting to beat a retreat, spooked by a Rwandan drumbeat? On Monday, Humza Yousaf announced his resignation, triggering fevered leadership speculation. In the end, there was just one nomination for leader of the SNP and the Scottish nation. John Swinney, Sturgeon's former right-hand man, looks like the only one likely to stand. Meanwhile, Humza reflected on the choices he chose that may have cast his career into its last throes. Seeing the news every day, the feeling gets scary that life in Britain is becoming more hairy. Day by day we're becoming a little more wary of violent incidents, more widespread and varied. In a school in Wales on the 24th of April, a 13-year-old girl killed a fellow pupil. What online images must that kid have consumed to inspire such carnage in a school classroom? And just 1 week later, on the 2nd of May, in a Sheffield school, it was like Groundhog Day. A lad of 17 flourishing a blade hurt 3 people and had the whole school afraid. 2 days before, in a quiet London suburb, the peace of Hainault was rudely disturbed. A man with a sword went on the rampage, breaking into houses in a demented rage. Several badly injured, a 14-year-old dead. Daniel Angerin was a treasure, everyone said. Thursday's local elections went as expected, with not many Tories being re-elected. But a very low turnout also reflected a population that's pretty disaffected. It seems the whole system was being rejected, a national cynicism overtly detected. Tories won't admit it, but it must get their goat that the Reform Party's eating into their vote, and Labour aren't entirely free to gloat, as many Muslims in Britain have taken note of Starmer's Gaza stance, and it sticks in their throat. Now they look for other candidates who might float their boat. But overall the Labour Party did very well, and their number of councillors massively swelled, while Tories almost halved and Greens nearly doubled, as on Friday morning Rishi picked through the rubble. Labour quietly confident, Tories in a mess, but the thoughts of voters can be anyone's guess. They say it ain't over till the fat lady sings, but in Blackpool things already went with a swing. A huge swing to Labour, but here's the thing, in second place it was nearly Reform that sneaked in. While the red to blue swing was the third highest ever seen, Reform trailed the Tories by just 117. So when Starmer said the size of the win was seismic, he wasn't taking the rise or indeed the mick. As far as the mayoral elections were concerned, Tories again were burned and had leads overturned. Sadiq Khan held on to London with a large win, and 8 other Labour mayors held on or got in. On the national map there was just one speck of blue. Ben Houchin held Tees Valley with little ado. Little ado, and it had little to do with Rishi Sunak or Conservative HQ. In fact, Houchin's tactic to secure another term was to ditch the rosette and have his own party spurned. West Midlands Mayor Andy Street also felt it was worth giving Rishi and his cronies a very wide berth, more or less taking an independent stand, blinkered from the blinking Tory toxic brand, of which swathes of the country have had their fill, and he headed down his own one-way street, if you will. But by the smallest of margin he came second in the race. Richard Parker of Labour now holds the mace. And the question Tories are left to face: have their election hopes finally sunk without trace? And some panicked right-wingers again waxed lyrical about Boris and his capacity for miracles. But most accept that that ship long ago sailed, while many more reflect that his premiership failed. Replace Rishi now? No Tory thinks there are takers. After all, who wants to be a short-term caretaker? Penny Mordaunt made it clear she ain't gonna spoil her image by being installed like a new boiler. So for the moment Sunak's the one in the hot seat, and on Friday he was not accepting defeat, saying there's still everything to play for, and in his Rwanda plan he's setting much store. He's hoping there'll soon be the drumbeat pound of planes leaving the ground, East Africa bound. But for the moment many migrants have gone underground. 3,500 right now can't be found. A figure to amuse, if it doesn't astound, as hapless Rishi's hopes yet again run aground. But he had some good news on his newly passed bill. Ireland was reporting a massive overspill of migrants flooding Ireland from the UK to avoid a Rwandese flight one way. So Taoiseach Harris harassed Sunak, telling him Ireland will send them back. The British PM's response was not a chance until I'm allowed to send migrants to France. Meanwhile, one failed asylum seeker bit off Rishi's hand and willingly accepted a free flight and £3,000 to settle voluntarily on East African land. Such a scheme has been there some time, we understand. Sunak'll take that, though it's not what his plan planned.